Welcome to Intro Skippers, the podcast with an entertainer and an entertainment journalist who are friends and love entertainment, specifically streaming media. And we're back in 2026.
Yes. This is our second 2026 episode.
Yes, I remember that. I think I got a little amnesia because I went to CES last week and I lost my mind. And I walked 20,000 steps a day. And I was around a lot of people. I think CES is much bigger than Comic-Con, which I already thought was a lot of people.
Yes. And CES stands for Consumer Electronics Show, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It does. Though I've heard some say that they're just changing it to CES. Much like IGN is mostly just IGN instead of Imagine Gaming Network.
And much like KFC is just KFC instead of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's one of those things where this is what it is now.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, kinda, if you think about it, but not really in the present sense. Hello.
Hi.
We are talking about Bugonia today.
We sure are.
Because it is now on streaming, and it's very much in the conversation as we are in award season now. Though, I can't see this really getting nominated for Academy Awards personally. I think it's, if we're looking at Best Picture, which includes 10 pictures, maybe. But in a top 5, I don't know. Though it is the dynamic combo of Emma Stone and Yorgos Lanthimos, who have been very successful previously with Poor Things, with The Favorite, and have worked together on Kinds of Kindness as well, even though that was not as awards rich as the others.
I wear an alien t-shirt, and I used to have an astronaut t-shirt for when I played a gig in Roswell. Yes, people live in Roswell, and you can play there on tour if you're a band. So I played there, and I had this weird skeleton astronaut t-shirt, but I can't find it. So I wore a Klingon symbol instead. This is the symbol of the Klingons, who are also aliens in a completely different franchise.
Why you did that. I thought you did that just for fun.
I mean, I have it just for fun.
Well, Kapla, good sir. I didn't say it with an accent. Sorry, that's my American accent. Kapla!
Much more appreciated either way.
Yeah, I identify with the Klingon Empire. When I've played Star Trek board games in the past and you get to pick a faction, I typically pick Klingon and go for total annihilation of everyone else.
They're good at that. I was once asked to write a Klingon song for Star Trek Online to promote a new Klingon expansion that was coming out. And so I took a bunch of Klingon phrases, wrote the song in English, then recorded it in English. Then the Klingon Society translated it and then brought in Mary Chieffo, who played one of the leaders of the Klingons in Star Trek Discovery. And she sang the song in Klingon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's on YouTube if you want to look it up, dear listeners.
We went on a tangent. So Bugonia is streaming now. It is new to streaming. I believe it's on Peacock.
Right.
Is that right?
It's on Peacock for free, and if you want to rent it on Apple, you can rent it on Apple or probably Amazon.
You can rent anything on Apple. You just have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to give a quick synopsis of it. Bugonia is a dark comedy thriller by Yorgos Lanthimos about two conspiracy-obsessed men, Teddy, Jesse Plemons, and his cousin, Don, Aidan Delbus. I had to go to a different page for that because he's not in the official synopsis. Who kidnapped Michelle Fuller, Emma Stone, the CEO of a pharmaceutical giant, believing she's an alien responsible for Earth's problems, including honeybee colony collapse, to force a confession and end to humanity's self-destruction, leading to a surreal battle of wits with unexpectedly real consequences for all involved. So, pretty much the way this movie moves is Teddy, who is essentially an Amazon worker for Emma Stone's company, who is the CEO of Amazon in this world.
Yeah, for the most part. If Amazon made more pharmaceuticals than they
Yeah,
did
it's
everything
kind
else.
of pharmaceutical. It's definitely pharmaceuticals, but it has an Amazon vibe to it.
Hmm.
So he is a conspiracy nut and kind of a loser. Her words, not mine, is convinced that Emma Stone is an alien responsible for all the Earth's downfall, and he is there to kidnap her, force a confession, and go back with her to the other beings from the Andromeda galaxy, and to maybe get a new life, maybe fix life on Earth. And a big question throughout this is Emma Stone an alien?
Right.
Jason, did you believe at back and forth, or were you on board? Were you off board with the Emma Stone as
No,
an alien idea?
I wasn't on board at all. I mean, obviously towards the end I started to think it, but even when she gave that really detailed speech, I thought to myself, this is a Ivy League educated CEO, and she's trying after, I'm jumping ahead, but I never
It's
really
fine.
got on board that she was an alien, because I figured she's playing into Teddy's uh, psychosis. And so she figures as a prisoner that the best thing she can do is play into Teddy's psychosis, admit she's an alien,
Ah,
come up with a really elaborate backstory that sort of matches what he says. And then that was her way to try to escape. When I started to believe that she truly was an alien was when she went to her office and acted
oh,
like
so right
everything.
when she revealed she was an alien?
No, 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 no. When they drove to her office and she gave her keys to and she told the security guard at the gate that everything was fine. When she gave her keys to the valet guy and everything was fine. When she said hi to all of her employees, because if she wasn't an alien, I would think at that point that's when she'd be like, "This guy's kidnapping me. Get him," because there's like 15 people there. Yeah, sure, they're executives, but I would have taken the shot then if I wasn't an alien. I would have been like, all right, this is my chance to escape. And she didn't escape. So that's when I was like, okay, maybe she is an alien. And then, of course, she was. But when did you think she was an alien? The whole time?
Way earlier. No, not the
Okay.
whole time. But I think at the point where she says, "How many Andromedans have you found or dissected or
Yeah.
taken?"
Yeah.
I believed it way early, and my partner was like, "You think she's really an alien?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I was right. I was right to be crazy, just
Yeah.
like Jesse Plemons was a complicated
Mm-hmm.
character. I'll get into that soon. But well, part of it was fourth wall breaking because I know this is a Yorgos Lanthimos movie. So I think, okay, he's setting me up for something. The shoe's going to drop. It's going to happen. She's not, it's not going to be straightforward. So I had the idea in my head that
Okay.
something was coming, and then I decided, yeah, she's an alien. She's an alien. And we didn't spoiler alert this because we don't spoiler alert anything. But yes, Emma Stone's character is an alien, which is an interesting twist because what we're doing is we're following Jesse Plemons' character as, I guess, the protagonist. Though I would argue he's the villain, but he's a complicated character. He is someone, his character, who has faced tragedy, actual real world tragedy, hard circumstances several times over. This is true. He comes from a perhaps lower income background. His mom is dying or has been
Mm-hmm.
dying for years and years as a result of this pharmaceutical corporation. He is a victim of sexual abuse. He is working at Amazon equivalent, which is, as you may know from the real world, not a good situation for the worker.
No,
And
in fact, they even touched on that, immediately when he's having his first conversation with one of his coworkers about how she got hurt and how
yeah, and you
she's,
feel really bad.
and she's like, I don't know if I should turn this
Hmm.
report in or not, because she's worried about her job, which sucks.
She's worried for her job. She's probably not paid well, probably works long hours. I mean, we all saw Nomadland. But anyway, he's not, but he's also not sympathetic in many ways. He's very violent and manic
Right. Right.
and intense, and he steps over the line a lot. He's definitely in a conspiracy theory rabbit hole that he sunk into, which honestly is something real people do. when they're, especially those who have faced real hardship and tragedy, the idea there is searching for truth and purpose, and then in that search falling into some extremely fringe ideas. But this movie validates that. I would say, if I were to read this literally, I'd be pretty upset, but I don't. This is a pretty metaphorical movie. And, so he's both really sympathetic, but not sympathetic. And at first I thought this guy is the protagonist. And then I thought, oh, he's doing some really bad things. I don't think he's the protagonist. I think he's just the point of view we're following.
He's such a complex character because I found myself liking him at certain points of the movie. I found myself later not liking him, but they do a really good job of making you not necessarily identify with him, but feel very empathetic towards him at certain points of the movie. And so hats off to that. I mean, I will say this, there was not a boring moment of that movie. There was not, that movie was just start to finish, go, 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 even in the quiet moments.
Right. And, he can speak toe to toe with Emma Stone's character, who is, like you mentioned, very highly educated, the CEO of the company. This is a different role for Emma too. Well, I mean, she's done a lot of villain characters more so later in her career. This isn't Easy A anymore at this point.
Right.
She's a double Oscar winner. What does she do now? And it's like, well, maybe I'm not an ingenue. Maybe I'm a frightening character.
Yeah.
And
she is frightening as a CEO for sure.
Her boss persona it also sits close to home in an uncomfortable way, much like Jesse Plemons' character sits close to home. And that is like, she's saying things like, let's dialogue about this. Let's, like pretending to care about things as a pharmaceutical CEO, but really not caring about the real and painful effects that are being inflicted on other people, poor people, just people who aren't her, people who are lesser. I mean, the bee metaphor where the colony collapses if the queen is hurt, it's not lost. It's pretty on the nose for this whole thing. And, all that pointless talking and meetings in the corporate structure that don't amount to any meaningful change.
Right.
And it's an interesting character as well. And it's cool that, or not cool, but it's fascinating that Jesse Plemons' character can go toe to toe with her. He does state outright, like, I'm neither left nor right wing. So maybe that moves us a little bit away, or the needle away from real world comparisons. But I couldn't help but think of the movie Eddington when I watched this.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, they go hand in hand, in my opinion. They're both kind of, well, I think was Ari Aster involved in this? Let me see this.
I don't know.
Yes, he's a producer. So okay. Eddington is Ari Aster's movie. And I'm not going to spoil that, but it's very much in response to COVID pandemic and people reacting to that and feeling powerless, but also, having these male characters in the center who are fragile and trying to deal with that and lashing out in different ways. And this feeling of apathy versus rage, chaos, yet this boring, commonplace quality to it, and a little bit of wild shit in the middle as well.
I just wrote that down. I want to watch that movie, and maybe we can cover it in a future episode.
Well, you either love it or hate it. I liked it. It doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't make you feel comfortable, but it has something to say. I'll say that for now.
Well, this movie definitely didn't make me feel comfortable or good.
I think these two are very much hand in hand in exploring paranoia and powerlessness in a modern setting.
Keeping with Michelle's CEO speak, one of the scenes that really sticks out in my mind is when Teddy is having the flashback scenes of his memory of them sort of apologizing to what happened to his mom. There's several of those, but one of them was when she's like, this is why I'm meeting with all of the families to apologize. This one's on us. When she said this one's on us, I just thought, you know,
I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah, or just, like this one.
You mean this one? This is an outlier experience, is what you're saying? Because I don't think it is.
Yeah, and also like what a horrible thing to say to like a grieving family member,
Right.
you know?
Well, she's not dead at that point, but she may as well be. The life she knew is gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an interesting role for Alicia Silverstone too, who is, you know, also playing against what we view of her.
Right.
She's playing this kind of mean, but it's a weird role for her as well. You mentioned that you don't feel good watching this, or it doesn't give you a good feeling when we were talking about Eddington, which, by the way, if you're trying to feel good, don't watch Eddington either.
Okay.
But I think these both speak to a feeling of, why does everything feel kind of bad? Why am I not as successful as my parents? What is going on? And trying to pinpoint what that reason is and hopefully solve it. But the existential problem there is, it's this unseen thing that you as an individual probably can't solve. And I think that feeling of angst and unsettled and disappointment and anger and fear and sadness is such an encapsulation of how many of us feel all the time. So it's not an easy watch, though I will say this is easier than Eddington.
Okay. Well, you had Teddy and Dawn repeatedly talking about like, we're going to get back to the way things were. We're going to get back to when things were better. Things are going to get better now. So that was certainly brought up many times. And can we talk about Aidan Delbus's performance, by the way?
So he had never acted professionally before, but I listened to an interview with Yorgos Lanthimos, and he and Emma and Jesse saw him, and he was clearly, like they said, clearly, you know, the right guy, but they kept looking. They saw his tape. They did decide they wanted someone who was neurodivergent to play the role.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. What a character that you end up loving and sympathizing and empathizing with. I mean, I think in a way, until he's gone in the movie, he could almost be the voice of the viewer in a lot of ways.
He's the third lead, essentially. And, you know, when his death scene happened, I screamed. I did not expect that. Because he was, if you look at him, you know, first lead, second lead, that's Emma and Jesse. I don't know what order you want to put it. They're both weird, complicated characters. They're not really that sympathetic. But when you look at Aidan as Don, he seems like a good person. He doesn't like it when Jesse is doing these torture activities to Emma Stone, you know, and he feels for her, even though he essentially agrees with the plan because he's his only friend and vice versa.
Yeah. He's his entire world. That's why, you know, Michelle couldn't get him to turn earlier, because he's like, he's all I have and I love him.
And that's a very sweet and understandable thing to relate to. So when he dies, it's like, oh my God, this is for real. It definitely gave me a jolt. It woke me up a little bit. I mean, I wasn't bored, but I was kind of like, yeah, I'm locked into this mode. And then after that, everything just goes at breakneck speed and gets wilder and wilder as we go forward.
Yeah. Even Emma Stone's character clearly reacted to that. And what I want to know is, you know, what she told Dawn. You know, Dawn was like, will you take me with you? And she promised that she would. Do you think that now, knowing that she's an alien the whole time, would she really have taken Dawn? Or do you think that was just a way to get out?
Absolutely not. No. Because, I mean, when she goes back to her weird ship that's alive and everyone is wearing the fuzziest sweater on Earth.
And everybody's got long hair.
They kind of
that's how they communicate.
Well, good job communicating through your beard, Jason. But Um,
I'm talking to the ship right now. Okay.
that's why they shaved Emma's head, by the way. But I know I'm not calling them by their character names, which are Michelle and Teddy. I know, but I call them Emma and Jesse. That's just how I see them.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not a good commentary on me or the movie. But anyway, um, they kind of view Earth as just an experiment. I mean, you saw what happened to the rest of humankind after she hits the button.
Right.
So, I mean, we see that she is the genuine. And, oh, did you want to say something before I talk about the end?
Oh yeah. Because I love that towards the end they're showing us a very famous flat Earth model. They're showing us the Earth is flat, which is another conspiracy theory that they're touching on.
You hate to see it.
Flat Earthers, for the most part, believe that we actually live on a flat disk, and that Antarctica is actually a frozen wall that goes completely around this flat round disk that we live on. And they were showing it as the planet, and then the last day they show it flat with the ice kind of dripping off the sides, and then of course it shows her, poofing the environment. Although I thought it was interesting that all the humans died. And by the way, did you notice that they showed 20 scenes of they really went off on showing all sorts of different people dead, right? Like, yes, we get it. Everyone on Earth is dead, but animals didn't die. Dogs didn't die. Birds didn't die. Bees didn't die. Interesting
Right.
thought.
Well, I didn't pick up the flat Earth thing, and now that you've brought it up, thanks. I hate it.
No problem. Anytime.
Well, it's like a bubble dome is over the thing.
Right.
And when she pops the bubble, all human life dies, which is like, yeah, that's pretty on the nose too. We're the disease. We're what's the corruption on Earth. She did mention earlier that the Andromedans, which she is the leader of, by the way, not just high ranking, like the highest ranking, is what caused the mass extinction of the dinosaurs, but it was on accident.
Right, by the 75th emperor or something.
Yeah. So, oops, but I guess it's just a reset for whatever's next. And it does show the bees are coming back. They're returning to the apiary. They are starting to thrive again. And the problem of colony collapse is fixed with the removal of the disease of Earth, which is, of course, humans.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, humans are a failed experiment as far as the Andromedans are concerned.
They might be a failed experiment as far as a lot of alien races are concerned.
I mean, I felt myself having a little pang of a feeling that some people have watching Pluribus, which is, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to join the hive mind. We'd solve a lot of hatred and violence and anger and whatever. I disagree with that take. But here I was like, you know what? Maybe we are bad. Maybe we as a species are bad. Maybe we're at the end of our time being allowed to ruin everything. So, it's thought-provoking in that way.
Yeah. I hope that there's hope, but yeah, sometimes I feel the way you feel too. Not to get too deep.
I'm not saying, let's kill us all, but sometimes thoughts that went through my head watching this movie were like, we've messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we can come back from this.
By the way, a great way to legitimize your movie to the viewer is when they cut to a reporter, hire an actual reporter, which is what they did. They hired Frederica Whitfield from CNN to play herself. And so her report about Michelle being kidnapped or missing added more legitimacy, I think, to than having maybe just someone who's not a reporter play a reporter.
Something else that stuck out to me about this movie is usually Lanthimos writes and directs his ideas. He's never done an alien invasion story before or any kind of sci-fi. And he did not write this. In fact, it's a remake of a 2003 cult classic from Korea called Save the Green Planet.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So Stone's character was played by a man initially. Was,
2003,
but Emma
Korea.
Stone's power, and, proven track record put her in that role now. And yeah, he did not write this. And I think that speaks to a lot of why it feels so different than the other movies that he's done in his oeuvre. And yeah, so first remake for sci-fi.
Yeah, it can be a risk, but I think it's pulled off quite quite well. Can we
Mm-hmm.
talk about Bugonia, the
What it
name?
means.
Yes.
So yeah, me and you and probably
Hmm.
many people thought begonia was the flower begonia, but it is spelled differently and it means something else.
Right. So what it means, it's from ancient Greek, and it is a belief that bees spontaneously generated out of a cow's carcass.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But,
I mean, the
obviously with the bee theme and everything
the
else.
reference makes sense. The idea does not make sense.
Right. The reference makes sense, and then actually a lot of historians believe that it's a case of mistaken identity,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously flies fly out of carcasses, not bees. So the thought was that maybe people back in the day didn't realize that flies and bees were different. I guess that's sort of the one of the beliefs.
Well, I mean, it definitely is almost a one-to-one of, there are bees in the movie and the bees represent, the colony needs to thrive. And what does it mean to be a drone? And as a drone, are you doomed to merely serve the queen and remain at your lowly drone station? But also it's the way it works, and maybe it doesn't work without it. And when we look at the idea of life and something positive, I would say bees are much more positive and bring more life to the world than a fly springing out of
Yeah.
a dead thing. That's what this is. I mean, the Earth, all as humans, we dead. Maybe we deserve
Mm-hmm.
it. Maybe we don't. We just talked about this. But
Mm-hmm.
what springs anew is hope and life and building and literal flourishing because of pollen and the flowers. So it's extremely apt. If I had only looked up that spelling of begonia, I would have probably figured out the movie before I watched the movie.
Okay. Well, then it's good that you looked up afterwards. Have a
Yeah.
little bit of mystery, right?
Yeah. I knew it was about is Emma Stone an alien, just based on clips and trailers that I saw ahead of time, but
Right.
this was different than I expected, but I would say in a good way. We talked earlier about do we think this is going to get any Academy Awards? I'm not sure I see a nomination in the cards. I mean, Best Picture does have 10 slots, but I think this would be at the lower end of the 10 if I had to say.
Okay.
What's your thought?
Well, I mean, the Golden Globes always are sort of a precursor. They're often wrong as well.
They're extremely wrong.
Yeah. So if you get a Golden Globe nomination, that doesn't really mean, or even a Golden Globe win, that doesn't even mean that the Academy Awards is going to recognize you.
Hmm.
But it got a few Golden Globe nominations, correct?
Right. It was nominated for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. I'm going to say this, it's not a musical nor a comedy, much like almost all the films in there.
Yeah, that is the weirdest category ever to put them both together. And I remember someone telling me a long time ago that when they originally made that category, musicals and comedies were somehow closer together.
Let me tell you the other nominees in musical or comedy, Best
Okay,
Picture.
can't wait.
You tell me if it's a musical or comedy by saying yes or no after each one.
Okay,
One Battle After Another.
no,
No. Bugonia. No.
no,
Blue Moon. Haven't seen it. Couldn't tell you. Marty Supreme.
no.
No. Nouvelle Vague. Haven't seen it. Couldn't tell you. No other choice. No. I mean, the
We're,
only thing that would fit in here is Wicked, which didn't make it.
what about Sinners?
It's not in here.
I mean, that's a musical.
It's not
according to
in
this
here.
category.
It's not nominated. I think what it means is less serious, unserious, you know?
Yeah. I mean, did I laugh maybe a couple of times
Yeah, but that
watching
does
this
not
movie,
mean
but
it's
not,
a comedy.
No, not at all.
This is such, I mean, we see this as well with Emmys, you know, where the bear keeps getting called a comedy, and it's not a freaking comedy. There's a term I hear a lot on the Ringer network, which I don't know if it's a common term or if they made it up, and that is category fraud. And I think that happens quite a bit with this loose interpretation of what is a comedy, what is a musical.
Well, from what I understand, speaking of category fraud, you always hear about people campaigning to be in an acting category that they think they can win.
Yeah, so it's like if they're supporting, they might kind of be in lead, or if they're lead and they think they can't win, maybe they'll slide to supporting.
Right.
That would be category fraud.
It is. Yeah, that happens a lot.
Be what you are. Or friggin' change what this is called. Musical or comedy, not one musical, not one comedy. Just because you have a little bit of laughter, a tee-hee, chortle every now and then, does not a comedy make.
No, because even the most serious movies ever made have a few comedic moments.
Yeah, because we can't be torture porned for 2, maybe 3 hours at the current trend.
Ugh, no.
In conclusion, we're mad.
Well, in conclusion, though, it was a really good movie. I did enjoy the movie from beginning to end. I think it deserves its 89% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Let's see. Bugonia.
I might be wrong.
Well, let's look at Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes is at 88%, very high. 88. Metacritic, 72, generally favorable. So these are good.
Okay.
Good reception.
Yeah.
IMDb gives it a 7.4 out of 10. I would give this solid 3.5 out of 5 on the Letterboxd scale.
Okay. So that makes it a 7.
That's about a 7. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd give it an 8.
So that's 4 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3.5, 4 is where we're sitting at. Not too far off the mark from each other. I thought it was good. I definitely think it's worth a watch. I wouldn't say skip this. It's a slog. Skip this. It's stupid. No, it's very interesting, even though I do not think it will be competitive in the Academy Awards. But are we an award show podcast? No, we're not. We're a streaming podcast.
Right.
And,
although we have had several award show episodes.
It's true. And maybe we'll do it again.
But that's not our primary focus.
No. So, all right. I think that's about time to wrap it up.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up next week?
Well, I have my very first paid professional voiceover job. Mr. Voiceover Actor Extraordinaire and recording artist.
You're catching up. With me.
That's right. You're going to have to go write an article or something.
I might.
No, I'm excited. I booked it myself. It's certainly a start, and I want to make a reel after this and maybe see what I can do. Maybe try something new.
Great.
In my career, since my industry is falling apart at the seams at the moment.
Well, join the club.
I know. Nothing creative is good or safe. It is good.
Music was first.
Yeah. Oh boy. But I am excited for that. And a few other things in the pipeline that aren't fully materialized / maybe I shouldn't mention them yet.
Yeah, I'm under lots of NDAs, so...
That's good. That means you're under lots of work.
Yeah, that part is I'm thankful for that. And yeah, I don't know if you're listening in LA, I do have a charity event coming up, but it's not for a couple months, but
Just say when.
March 8th at
There we go.
Yeah, March 8th. Just watch socials for it and you'll see.
And you're about to say where it was, but you're not sure now?
No, I know where it is. So it's actually going to be at Geeky Teas on the performance stage. I wrote and designed 2 adventures for Steamforge games, 2 Dungeons and Dragons adventures. And so we will be playing live on stage with it. And that's being put together now.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's called Forest of the Damned. It's an evil forest box set that I helped create.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And Geeky Teas is such a fun venue.
It really is. It really, really is. So,
I was shocked.
It's, I believe, might be the largest game store in California.
It's huge if you've never been. And I thought, oh man, this is a huge footprint. Can they afford to pay for this? And it really seems like the answer is yes. Every time I go, a lot of space is booked up, if not all the space is booked up. So good for them.
I even have my own, there's a room there named after me.
You showed me it, yes. And it has your logo on it and everything. So go over there and use the Jason Charles Miller game room.
JCM's Moonshine Saloon.
There you go.
Is the official name of it.
That's just what I call it.
Yeah.
Cool. So we have a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of good things to come, and we will see you there along with us for it.
Yep.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Intro Skippers with Jason Charles Miller and Kim Horcher is produced and edited by Kim Horcher and Jason Charles Miller. The name order doesn't really matter. Additional writing by Kim Horcher. Theme song and incidental music by Jason Charles Miller. Take it away, me. You can rate and review this show, 5 stars only please, anywhere you'd like, and you might find your review read on a future episode. Got a question? Email us at introskipperspod@gmail.com. That too could be featured on a future episode. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Intro Skippers on your favorite podcast platform, but preferably one we're actually on. All right, thanks for getting this far. Here's a special treat just for you. I'm gonna stop talking.